Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to have a chat with you guys about artist residencies. Should an artist pay for artist residencies? I want to be talking about this because I received a DM on Instagram from a Chinese artist. She said, "Hey Mo, I've been following you for a long time on YouTube, on Instagram. I know that you talked about artist residencies and you're based in Europe. Next semester, I'm coming to Europe for a semester of exchange. I would love if you could recommend me an artist residency in Northern European countries or near Germany where I will be studying, traveling to, so I could experience a different country, to have a place where I can work on my art. Thank you so much." So I looked and I thought, oh, there is this one residency in the Netherlands that is converted from an old cheese farm, and now it's like a beautiful place for artists to work on, to work in, to work with. And I met the founder of the place, Manon. The farm was her grandmother's old farm. I met her in the art fair Just Madrid and I made an interview. I haven't had the chance to make a video out of it, but I promise you I will, and I will leave a link in the description in this video.
I am Manon van der Geest, and together with Santiago Pani we run two residencies. Art House Holland, which is the one that we're here representing in Leiderdorp. And we also have another location, Art House Pani in Mexico. And from the residencies, they are part of a collective of artists.
And I said, why don't you get in touch with Manon? I think it's a very cool project. I met her in an art fair where she was bringing the works of the artist in residence. So she is very serious and passionate about her work. And the artist got back to me saying, oh, very wonderful, cool, I will definitely reach out. However, there's a however, she said, I've never paid for an artist residency in the past. I've only been invited to residencies with stipends, but I never paid. She didn't say it out loud, but I think what she really meant is, should an artist pay for an artist residency? Is that legit? Is that all right for them to ask money? All right, so I would say there are two different kind of answers, the short and the long. If you don't have a lot of time, I'll give you the short answer right now. That is, I think it is all right for an artist to pay for artist residency, depending on your financial situation, depending on the perks and services that they give you. If it's a good match and they ask you not a lot, it's not like, 4 or 5 star hotel rate. It's a reasonable amount of money that is worth it. Go for it. It's not wrong for them to ask. In the last 3 videos, I talked about vanity galleries. I would say it's a very big difference between vanity residencies and vanity galleries. We don't really call it vanity residencies. This is how I call it right now. It's a big difference is that the vanity galleries would typically make money from the artist after. If they make money from the artist during and after, it's like, hey, twice the income. But residencies normally are free to apply, so normally, and they don't make money before, they don't make money after. How can they make money then, right? So they have to make money during your stay, that is charging for a fee. So I don't think it is something terribly wrong or, it's something like not legit, not good. I think it's totally okay. But of course, depending on the value they give you and your pocket, right? Your budget. If you do have more time, I'm gonna give you the big picture. I printed on a recycled paper 4 different types of artist residencies. This fee structure will help you kind of get better clarity on different types. The first type is the free with stipends, and usually they are sponsored by the government or some big foundations, institutions. For example, there is one in Madrid called Casa Velázquez. It's sponsored by the French embassy. The money comes from the French tax money, so it's paid by the French citizens. And those residencies are usually very selective. They pay you a lot of money, like thousands of dollars every month, but they ask you to have a excellent track record, experience, interesting projects, speaking French, better French citizens. They prioritize French citizens because after all, it's the French taxpayers' money. So of course, it's normal for them to be very selective and prioritize French. Then there is the second that is free, but in exchange for some work. And the works could be picking fruits in the morning, could be working on this piece of wall or mural or some sort of handiwork as well. It's more common in the past, I would say, but now it's less common because the visa policy is like you're not allowed to work if you're on a tourist visa. So it's not as common with all this tightening of this kind of policies. And there is another extent for a work that is a work of art that is historically has been a tradition. When a noble family in Europe or a wealthy family in China, they would invite artists to come over, and in exchange for a gift from the artist. It's not like a contract, right? But based on good faith, you would give something in return to thank their hospitality. Then there is the paid partially. They are giving you a discount. There is one residency before the pandemic. I don't know right now where they are, but before the pandemic, there is a residency run by a Danish person. They accept Danish applications. The fee is 500 instead of 1,000. That is the market price. So that is quite cool if you fit their profile and you can be there and enjoy their facilities, enjoy their network, exhibitions, basically at a very little cost. Then the last type is the fully paid by artist at market price residency. And I know there's one in Madrid. They are charging for every 10 days $600 for like a private room with a desk to work on and a shared kitchen. So I would say it's an expensive end of an Airbnb private room. But people do book it because they want a one-stop shop to have a solution, right? So anyone can apply, you pay, you reserve, you go there, there's the key, there's the things ready for you. And this is fulfilling certain kind of market demand. If you're a foreigner, you don't know the language, you don't know people there, you want to go to that country and have a place to work on your art, you pay. So that's also quite normal. As you can see, you might have discovered, the more money they give you, the more restrictions they impose, for example, nationality, language, school, or projects, or maybe they ask some other kind of services and things from you, right? So you might not expect, so you do need to check out the full conditions to see if this is a good deal for you or not. Maybe in the end, it is cheaper for you to just pay for a fully market price residency because then you don't own them anything and you have more freedom and you can choose where you stay and what kind of perks you get. Talking about perks, I do have to mention that you have to consider one of the perks that they are offering if it's worth the money or not. So I'll give you 6 examples of the perks. There are more, I'm just giving you the most obvious. Number 1, exhibition. This is the most classical. In the end of your residency period, they host a solo or group exhibition depending on how many other residents you have, like your colleagues. And usually before the pandemic, this is like basically the biggest perk. Because of the pandemic, it's more difficult to make the exhibition, to make it big, inviting everybody, because now we still have some kind of restrictions, social distancing, and the exhibitions might not turn out to be what you expected due to the whole global situation. I think now you can also look at other alternative perks. Number 2, networking opportunities. It could be they bring you to local artists. It could be that they bring local collectors to you, to your studio, depending on the arrangement. I know many artists say, I want networking with collectors only or museum curators only. But I think that's very short-sighted. You should be a little bit more open-minded, network with everybody. But if you are very particular about networking with professionals in art only at a high level, then I would recommend you to subscribe to this channel because in 3 days, I'm going to interview Christine O'Donnell, that is a gallerist in Boston. She is opening her first edition artist residency, and she's a gallerist, and she will give the solid network that is what you would expect in this case. So make sure you turn on the little bell not to miss the next video. Number 3, tourism. Of course, this is the most common as well. You wouldn't expect to be in the residency of your home country, hometown, right? Usually you go to a place far that you've never been before to get the culture, to practice different like art techniques of that culture. So tourism is something normally that comes with naturally. Number 4, disconnection. That's before the pandemic, again, is a big thing as well. So you can stay in a resort or a place without Wi-Fi, in a mountain, in the countryside, and you just disconnect from the world. But I think right now, after years of confinement, we want connection. We don't want to disconnect. So That's something to eliminate on the perks, I think. Number 5, skill to learn. And this is something also quite popular traditionally. So you go to visit an old master, you stay under his wing for a while, and you acquire the skill. And maybe before people didn't call it residency, but it was carried out in a similar form because you live, you work with this person in a foreign land or in a remote place. I would still consider this action as a residency, although it's not typical. Number 6, online residency or online shout-out promotion marketing residency. In Art Madrid art fair, I interviewed an artist curator from Russia. He was a part of this online residency, and it's pretty cool how the whole thing turned out. Some young artists got some chances. You can check out the interview if you want to watch an extended version. So during the pandemic, many people are hosting online residencies on Zoom, not even going there, and then to have like a virtual online show. Why not? Special time, special measures. So now what you need to do is to look at the perks they offer and the fee structure to see, is that worth it for you to spend the time and the money in exchange for the perks they offer. There's some perks are very difficult to evaluate, such as networking, like tourism, this kind of things. How can you put them in number? Like, oh, is $100 worth it? Is $500 worth it? It's kind of hard to evaluate. So what I would recommend you is to look at the fee. Let's say they ask you $1,000. What they give without the soft part, just the hardware they give, for example. Hotel room, how much would it cost in this city, right? Would they give you that hardware that is worth it? And also exhibition. To organize an exhibition, the place to rent, the people to hire, how much is it cost? So you can see the hard part. If you would have organized it for yourself without the residency, how much does it cost? And then you can see if it is worth it or not. Well, again, thank you very much for watching. I don't want to bore you with more of my blah, blah, blah. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because in 3 days, I'm going to interview Christine O'Donnell, a gallerist in Boston, that will give you more information on the first edition residency she's hosting. So it's going to be an excellent time for you to find out what kind of perks she offers and perhaps connect with her. All right, that's all for today. Thank you very much for listening to me, and see you in the next video.